I want to thank all of you who did that for a number of reasons. The book, as I was saying earlier, is topical, it's time-related, so the sooner we get it out, the more relevant it's going to be. I'm sure it will unfortunately stay relevant for at least a few years because our government moves so slow that it shouldn't be relevant that long, but it's likely to be. But I really wanted to get some of the copies out early to folks so that we begin the conversation and begin to sort of get people thinking about stuff. I called the book Main Street Smarts because what was clear to me in talking to people, and you all know me well enough to know I spend my life talking to people and listening to people, that's what I do, that Main Street, us, had figured out a bunch of things that Wall Street and our economic and political pundits somehow seem to have missed. For instance, probably the thing that motivated me to write the book more than anything else was that, let me see if I know how to make this work. Was that somehow the market crashed and all the economic pundits on the radio, they still say it today, they say, oh, it came out of nowhere. No idea that the market was going to crash. What a surprise. And I'm always like, look, I'm not an economist, but almost everybody I talked to wasn't surprised the market crashed. And if I asked folks, did you think the market was going to crash, most of the people I ever talked to say, well, we were in trouble. I'm not surprised the market crashed. I didn't know when it was going to crash, but we were in trouble. And then those same economic pundits got on the radio, within 2 months or something after the crash and said, oh, well, sort of don't worry your pretty little head about this. It'll all get better. And if people would just sort of be more upbeat and spend money and invest, everything would be fine. And I'm like, spend money, invest? I mean, none of the folks I know, we had less money than we had a year ago, and less than the year before that, and less than the year before that. And so the thing that struck me the most about what economists said, and the book is basically based on this, for the first time in my life, listening to economists from across the political spectrum, I heard these figures. 70% of our economy is us. 20% is private business, and 10% is government, normally. And I thought to myself, well, no wonder we're in trouble. Because the 70% that's us, most of the people of our country, are in trouble. And no wonder our economy is not going anywhere, because it's in the tank, and it's been there for a while. And you would think, listening to economists and government people talk, that government and private business was a huge segment of our economy. But it turns out it's only 30% when you add it together. So what that means, and that's why the book talks about things from where it does, is that if you and I aren't doing better, this economy is not going to turn around. And so that's the fundamental issue, and it means it's a complete shift in how we've been taught to think politically. Certainly I came of age in the Reagan era, and ever since then have been told that we need to make sure that big companies are happy, and that will make sure that there's jobs, and then the economy will bounce along fine, and everything will be fine. So I am not going to go through big pieces of the book right now, but I wanted to talk a little bit about this. So when you talk to people, there are very different realities out there. And in the book I talk at one point about an economic generation gap. Here's the story as it's been told. You work hard no matter which section, fifth of the economy you're in, the bottom fifth, the second, middle, fourth, or top. You work hard to get ahead, right? No matter where you are. You may not get rich, but you get ahead. And you do better than your parents did if you work hard, and you, every year get a little bit more money maybe, or a little more money put in a pension, or, better health care or something like that. And in an economy like that, the businesses do pretty well. They make, of the gross domestic product, they make, around 11, 10, 12% in profits. They do okay. And if you work hard, here's the chart for worker productivity in the U.S. going up over time, and the compensation going up over time. You work harder, you get paid more. And everybody pays their fair share. So this is the income tax. There's no easy way to put this chart in pieces. So pretend I'm just talking from here forward, around 1945. This is the tax rate for the top marginal national tax rates. For those of you who go, taxes. The issue is this. Nationally, we have graduated income tax, and that means that everybody, for the first X amount of money, say $15,000 you make, you pay a certain tax rate on it. The chunk above that, you pay a slightly higher tax rate. So depending on where your income sort of ends on the way up, that's how high the tax you ever have to pay on. This is the tax rate on the very top part of the wealthiest people with most money. Trust me, most of us in this room will never get near this tax rate. But in 1945, people will harken back to, under Eisenhower the economy was great, whatever. Those folks were paying around 90 cents on a dollar for that top amount of money they were bringing in. They were putting most of it back into our economy. They were paying it to the government, and it was going to social services and to funding jobs and all that kind of stuff. And remember, these folks were doing pretty well, right? If they were getting money from those businesses, the businesses were bumping along at a pretty good income rate.